Hey, welcome back to Pure Mind Think. I'm your host, Pure Mind, and today we're diving into something wild, something that's got my mind spinning and might just leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about the world. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because we're about to unpack a story that blends prophecy, natural disasters, and a call to look beyond the chaos. Today's keyword: Prophecy Tsunami Myanmar 2025. Stick with me to the end, this one's a ride. Picture this. It's early morning, March 28th, 2025. The ground beneath Myanmar trembles. A 6.8 magnitude earthquake rocks the region, sending shockwaves through the earth and fear through the hearts of millions. Buildings sway, people run for safety, and the news lights up with reports. Now, if that wasn't eerie enough, let's rewind to a dream I heard about recently, one so vivid it's stuck with me ever since. A man stands on a bridge in a coastal city, chatting with friends, when a little girl's voice cuts through. "Daddy, did you hear about the big earthquake?" Moments later, a massive wave looms on the horizon, a tsunami, roaring like nothing he's ever heard before. Cars float, buses bob on the water, and chaos unfolds. Sound like a movie? It's not. It's a vision someone shared years ago, and it's starting to feel a little too real.
Now, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to dig into the signs, the stories, and the strange coincidences piling up around us. That earthquake in Myanmar? It's fresh. Just yesterday, as I'm filming this on March 29th, 2025. And it's got me thinking about prophecies, some biblical, some modern, that seem to echo what's happening right now. Could this be the start of something bigger? A tsunami tied to Myanmar in 2025. Let's break it down together and see where the truth leads us. Our hearts go out to the families touched by the recent Myanmar earthquake. May you find strength and peace.
So, let's start with that dream I mentioned. A few weeks ago, I stumbled across a video from a guy named Perry Stone. He's a preacher who's been sharing vivid dreams on YouTube for years. In this one, he's walking across a concrete bridge with round metal bars on top, chatting with his buddy Tony Scott. Suddenly, a girl behind him mentions a big earthquake. Before he can process it, the scene shifts. A colossal wave barrels toward the city. Perry grabs the bars, bracing himself as the water surges, lifting buses and cars like toys. He survives, wading through knee-deep water in a downtown area, surrounded by stunned shopkeepers and a hotel with no power. It's so detailed, he didn't even need to write it down. It burned itself into his memory. Perry ties this to a Bible verse, Luke 21:25-26. He reads it like this: "There shall be signs in the sun, in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear." He says that roaring part? It's a Greek word meaning an echoing, unnatural sound, exactly what tsunami survivors describe. Think about it. The 2004 Indonesian tsunami, the 2011 Japan disaster. People heard that eerie roar before the waves hit. Perry's convinced this isn't just a dream, it's a warning.
Now here's where it gets personal for me. Perry's had dreams come true before. He saw a Japanese tsunami years before 2011. Temples swamped, water everywhere. He even predicted an oil rig disaster off Louisiana that matched the 2010 BP spill. So when he says a tsunami's coming to a US coastal city, I listen. But then I thought, what if this isn't just about America? What if it's bigger? That's when Myanmar popped into my head, especially after yesterday's quake.
Hold that thought, because there's another piece to this puzzle. Back in 1999, a Japanese woman named Ryo Tatsuki published a book claiming a massive disaster would strike Japan. That same year, a devastating earthquake hit. Fast forward to now, she's predicting something even crazier for July 2025. She says the ocean floor between the Philippines and Japan will erupt, triggering a tsunami 3 times worse than 2011. It'll hit Japan, Taiwan, the Philippines, Indonesia, and here's the kicker, she doesn't rule out ripple effects reaching places like Myanmar. Oh, and get this, she also called Princess Diana's death and a big event in 2020 COVID, anyone? Way before they happened.
Is she legit? I don't know. But 2 out of 3 predictions coming true? That's not nothing. And when you pair that with Perry's dream and yesterday's earthquake in Myanmar, It starts feeling like the universe is dropping hints. Could this all connect? A quake in Myanmar, a tsunami in 2025, and a prophecy tying it to the sea roaring?
Let's map it out. Myanmar sits on the Andaman Sea, near tectonic plates that have caused tsunamis before, like the 2004 monster that killed over 200,000 people. Yesterday's quake wasn't huge, but it's a wake-up call. Experts say a bigger one could shift the ocean floor, sending waves crashing towards Southeast Asia. Add Rio's prediction and Perry's vision, and I'm wondering, are we on the edge of something biblical? So why Myanmar? It's not just the quake on March 28th, it's the timing. Perry's dream didn't name a place. He wouldn't say the state, just that it's a coastal city with a bridge and a downtown. But Myanmar's got coastal regions, rivers, and bridges too. And if Rio's right about July 2025, the Andaman Sea could be ground zero for a tsunami that doesn't just hit Japan. It could sweep south, slamming Myanmar's shores. Imagine this. An earthquake triggers a wave, flooding towns, markets, hotels, just like Perry saw. People wading through water, buses floating, panic everywhere. I dug deeper. Myanmar's been quiet on the disaster front lately, but that quake yesterday? It's a red flag. Scientists say the region's overdue for something big. And here's a wild thought. What if Perry's dream wasn't about the US at all? What if it's Myanmar, or a chain reaction starting there? The sea and waves roaring, just like Luke said.
Now, I'm no preacher, but I've got my Bible open. Luke 21 isn't the only place this stuff shows up. Revelation talks about earthquakes and the sea going wild in the last days. And Jesus said these things are just the beginning. Birth pains before something greater. Yesterday's quake in Myanmar, Perry's dream, Rio's prophecy. It's like pieces of a cosmic puzzle falling into place. Okay, let's pause. This is heavy. Earthquakes, tsunamis, prophecies. You might be thinking, what do I do with this? Here's where I want to shift gears. Perry said something that stuck with me. Don't be scared. Be prepared. He's not wrong. But I'd add one more thing. Put your trust in the Creator. See, these stories, whether they're dreams or predictions, aren't just about chaos. They're about a bigger plan.
Think about it. The Bible says God's in control even when the waves roar. Psalm 46, 2-3. Though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, we will not fear. That's not blind hope. That's faith in a God who sees the end from the beginning. Myanmar's quake? It's a reminder we're not promised an easy ride, but we are promised a guide. Perry gave practical tips: get to higher ground, watch the animals, keep a bug-out bag. Smart stuff. But I'd say the real prep starts here. Points to heart. Trust the one who made the oceans. If 2025 brings a tsunami to Myanmar or anywhere else, he's not surprised. And neither should we be.
So where does this leave us? July 2025 is months away. Rio's prediction looms, Perry's dream lingers, and Myanmar's still shaking off yesterday's quake. Will a tsunami hit? I can't say. I'm not a prophet. But I can tell you this. The signs are stacking up. And whether it's Myanmar, Japan, or somewhere else, the sea's got our attention. Here's my challenge. Don't just watch this and shrug. Dig in. Read Luke 21. Look at Myanmar's coast. Pray. Prepare. And if you're in a coastal area, maybe keep an eye on the horizon and the animals. Perry saw buses floating. Rio saw the ocean floor erupt. Me? I see a world waking up to something bigger than itself.
Thanks for sticking with me to the end. This is why I do Pure Mind Think, to wrestle with the big questions and point us toward truth. If this hit you, drop a comment. What do you think about Prophecy Tsunami Myanmar 2025? Like, share, and subscribe if you want more. Next week, we're tackling something just as wild. Stay tuned. Until then, keep your mind pure, your eyes open, and your faith strong. This is Pure Mind, signing off. See you soon.